Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
All right, listen up. It hailed in a few spots around the city, but not a lot. If a company says to turn in a claim to your insurance, don't do it unless Easton Roofing gives you a free inspection. Here is why. A roofer knocks on your door, gives you an inspection, and says it's damaged. Insurance adjuster comes out. Even if they deny you and pay nothing, it's still a claim. This can be a problem because too many claims on your record are bad. Easton Roofing will come tell you the truth and let you know if all you need is a tune-up or maybe nothing at all. Make sure you have damage before you turn in a claim. It can be a big, big problem for you on down the road. Go to eastonroofing.com, EASTON, roofing.com for more information or call 913-257-5426 in the KC area or 785-766-1259 in Lawrence. Again, eastonroofing.com. If you're driving around, be safe. You can't remember those numbers. That's all right. Just remember, very easy to remember, Easton, EASTON, roofing.com, and they'll be happy to come out and take care of you the way they have taken care of me and my family, and much appreciated. Fantastic working with the folks at Easton Roofing. I wish I wasn't. I'll be honest with you. It's a repair on a 2-year-old roof.
Right.
But I'm glad that it is Easton that I'm working with because they do a great, great job.
Great folks, and I'll be going over to see Joe today, and we're actually going to work on some stuff for the advertising he does on my website. So that'll
shameless plug for DannyClickscale.com.
DannyClickscale.com. Big
Well
event
done.
last night out at the Exit Room in Lee Summit. Dennis Leonard was the guest for Facebook Live.
Oh, wow.
He was
Very
great.
nice.
He was fun.
Leonard is great.
So he's that's on the website right now, too. And this afternoon we'll have Easton Roofing's Kansas City Profiles with Bob Walkenhorst from the Rainmakers. And that was a great conversation we had. So lots of good things going on, and unfortunately, lots of bad things going on in the world of sports.
Yeah, it's too bad. You go from somebody really taking care of you, like Easton Roofing did,
somebody not taking care of someone.
It is really disturbing. And listen, we sat here, right here.
Hey, we are 2 steps down the road from when I said he should be gone anyway.
Right,
and I think I was probably not in keeping with the general thought process at that point in time, but it had been enough for me that his son had been taken out of that family situation. I think now we know why there was so much angst from Stephen Howe at the press conference. I don't even know if it's not even worth discussing anymore. He's not going to be a chief. There's nothing that can undo, especially the one, whatever you call it, killer, that's a bad phrase, the keynote thing of you ought to be terrified of me too, B.
Yeah,
that's
it.
It
was over right then. I didn't need to hear anything else. It was over.
I don't want to be too, I don't think I'm even being too overwrought in saying that's what heads down the road to Jovan Belcher territory.
Yes.
It does. Those type of situations. What happens the next time he's being violent with the child, and maybe the mom tries to come in and intercede, and he's already said you ought to be terrified of me. Clearly he's comfortable with physical violence. So it's horrible. I don't even know, even reasonable people like Sam, who Sam and Vahe both wrote great columns today in the Star, and even somebody like that, just Sam offhandedly just says, well, Tyreek Hill will play football in this league again. And I'm like, really? What do you have to do? People always talk about second, third chances. I agree with that in life, but that doesn't mean it has to be in the National Football League.
That's right.
I don't get it.
Herm Edwards said it was a privilege to play in the National Football League, and a couple of things that have bothered me. One, we've gone from last week, you definitively saying it's done. Me saying we're on this highway and I don't see an exit, and that's where it's going to get. I'm not quite there because I think we need a couple other things to fall in place. And I received criticism from people, not everybody, listen, and I think it's extremists, right? To now, I open the show and talk about when I heard that part of it, which was the very first part of the Channel 5 broadcast last night. I heard more. I didn't need to. I was already like, that's it. He's done. He's gone with that statement alone. If that's definitively him, Channel 5 says they have vetted it, and it is him. So I'm going to take them at their word. The Chiefs say they want to confirm what it is. I know a lot of different news sources I've seen written. We have not confirmed. Independently confirmed. So I understand there's that process, and I'm sure the Chiefs may be wanting to go through that process. Because if they were to release him and it's not him, that would be a problem. So I think this, we said last night, Curtis said, I won't be shocked if he's released before this draft is over. Well, the combination of you're not supposed to do any moves during the draft, right? That's one of the things that's there. Although this isn't signing a player,
right?
Okay, this isn't announcing a new stadium initiative. This is very different. So this may supersede that, but I get it. But there is a process you got to follow to make sure that it's done right. But I think it is inevitable. The wheels are rolling on that. But we've gone from that. So when I said today, that's all I needed here. Jed's got people calling him, screaming at him that I'm giving him a free pass and letting him off light, which is amazing to me, the juxtaposition of last week. And again, I think most people were in the
I don't understand how they're saying you're giving him a free pass.
I don't either, but that's like you. If you're not asking the man to be, I said I would hope that we would also have compassion for what his life must have been to bring him to be this human being. I have compassion for all people, even those that have been convicted. They're human beings.
Well, this is a tragic story, no matter what. I mean, he's ruining his life.
He's ruining her life.
Right. They could have had generational wealth.
Yes.
And that's, at the very least, that's not going to happen in the near term.
So to give you, and people hear that, and I don't think they quantify like the things it can do when you say that, because it's not just all about money, right? It's not.
Right.
But I got a friend. His son plays basketball internationally, paid for his sister's college.
Right.
Like, how was that college going to get paid? I mean, they could have probably figured out a way, but this certainly made it a done deal.
Right.
That's just playing basketball internationally, right? And he makes a really good check, by the way.
Right.
Weird, jealous type of check,
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes, maybe no, right? But I think that is what it is about. It's about setting up whole families. If it's done right, we know many people squander all that away. But that's been squandered. That's a tragedy.
Well, just the tragedy at the lower level. The man's, people say, well, he's only made $2 million playing football so far. I think it's 1.8. That's still $1.8 million. Yeah. But one thing would indicate that he probably doesn't have all that money right now is the fact that this tape was done in Dubai. At the airport in Dubai.
Meaning that he spent it on some
right, it's some
vacation.
Vacation to Dubai. I mean,
he's probably picked up a shoe deal and
true enough.
That along the
true
way.
enough.
But yeah, and the thing that troubles me about the reaction from folks is I think last week what we got were people, there was enough open-endedness to it that there was a feeling that, I can find a plausible scenario. I can snake my way through this where it is possible that he didn't do this, didn't have knowledge, and as Curtis put it, it's okay to keep my number 10 jersey, keep wearing it, and keep cheering for him, to keep scoring touchdowns for this team. And that seems to be gone.
I hope that – I'm not scolding anyone. It's not like I've never been wrong about things in my life, but I hope that a lot of the fans who, over the past week, have sort of been grasping at a way that they could still have Tyreek Hill on their football team and still root for him, will learn a bit of a lesson from this in their own mind. They know the words they spoke. They know the justifications that they were trying to come up with, when, to me, it was patently obvious that this is what was occurring. They took the child away. They were convinced that this issue with the broken arm was the result of physical violence by one or the other, and it seems now pretty clear it was Tyreek Hill. The woman made this tape. Thing I haven't heard raised yet, and I'm trying to come up with a few things that haven't been raised yet because everybody else is speaking on this issue. It seems likely that if she made this tape, that she might now be willing to change her story. I mean, one of the quotes she had in there was, "I rode with you."
Yeah.
Like I was sticking up for you. I was telling a story to protect you.
Against, I think the term is against
right.
the detective,
right.
which makes it clear that she was working against him. I mean, I think
right. So now, if she's going down this path of recording this, and then I believe she's the one who shared it with the reporter, it would seem like that's the source. I think. I mean, if you're trying to put pieces together, that she now might be willing to drop the veneer here and just go forward and cooperate with the police. For instance, yesterday when the statement was released by Tyreek Hill saying that he had cooperated with the police, my first words out of my mouth, which is standing there by myself, were, well, you can cooperate and lie. I mean, that's cooperating.
Right.
You can testify and say, well, geez, I don't know what happened. I wasn't involved with this. And that's obviously what was going on, and that's obviously what the frustration of the prosecutor's office was, because they kept a case that had no hope of really changing open for a month. There was no third witness. There was nobody else. They were just basically sweating the couple. They took the child away. They were hoping that finally they would break down and one of them would mea culpa.
It's almost like they made that public announcement like, okay, we've done all we can do. If somebody else is going to come forward, now's the time because we're walking away. And he said, yes, we'd be open to further evidence. You know, the thing, I said this and I got someone to say, yeah, that's it. And, Mike Garozzo, I think, was like this. I don't know that there's anybody, there's probably a couple somewhere. 99% of the people say it's time for him to be cut. 50 to 60% of them fear, though, that he will be allowed to go play again and score touchdowns and help another team win. They want to win.
Right.
They're desperate to win, and they do not want to see one of the Chiefs' resources go play for somebody else. And they have a good point that, listen, the Chiefs should cut him, but the NFL should not let him play for anybody else. And I keep hearing.
I'll agree with that.
I do agree.
100%.
And I hear everybody has a right to make a living. Well, they do, but nobody has a right to pick where they work.
Right.
Right? A company's got to say that you're an asset to us. And if you've damaged your reputation to the point that you can't get a job, I'm sorry.
Exactly. And also, this is why we should hold the football teams accountable, because they end up putting their fans, their paying fans, in this horrendous position of having to decide whether they should root for Tyreek Hill. Over the last 3 years, many people came around because Tyreek Hill did what he was supposed to do, A, B, C, and rah-rah Tyreek. And now you feel dirty. You got to. A little bit, and if you don't, I don't get it. But the Chiefs shouldn't be putting their fans in that type of situation. The Chiefs are incredibly fortunate in this situation. First of all, if this audio tape didn't come out, they're probably going to keep him on the team.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was a ticking time bomb for something really bad to happen. We can see now. You should be terrified of me, B. Also, if the audio tape was released on Monday, I'm pretty sure Frank Clark wouldn't be on this football team. Aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Really?
I'm not.
So they wouldn't have learned anything from that.
I'm not.
That's really bad.
Point.
That's really bad. I would hope that Frank Clark wouldn't be on this football team if this audio tape came out on Monday.
I think they're tone deaf on Frank Clark. Maybe
Wow.
It's a good point. I don't know if he would have been. I think they feel like.
I guess I repeat it. I guess I hope that they would have said, "Well, geez, enough is enough. We can't keep doing this."
Well, they're going to be. There's a 2:30 press conference today, which we'll have here on Sports Radio 810, and it's going to be really interesting to hear the line of questioning. Because Frank Clark may love being in Kansas City, he may love $105.5 million, $63.5 million of it guaranteed. But he's going to sit in a press conference, and he's going to have a group of the media that's going to ask. And by the way, then there will be people that are upset that they're asking questions about Frank Clark, even on the morning after the damning tape that was out there.
Yeah, because what they've created is that the fact that there will be a considerable amount of media there that have nothing to do with usually covering football.
Yes.
They are there because of domestic violence issues.
And they're now on the front line, and they have put themselves there.
Yes.
They have put themselves there. Andy Reid said, we ask you to trust us.
Right. And let's face it, Andy Reid's overall arc, if you wanted to go unleashed right now, his overall arc